Ahoy, mateys! How you doing? Normally, this time of year, I'd be dressed like this. Normally, at run fairs and such with my pirate reenactment group. But here we are. And because of the plague, we need to have good immune systems, just like pirates back in the day, because of scurvy, had to start eating limes for the vitamin C. It was good for them, and guess what's good for your immune system? That's right, vitamin C. We've talked about vitamin C before. We'll talk about it a little bit more today. But I also want to talk about vitamin A. Vitamin A and vitamin C are the two most important vitamins for your immune system. Now, your immune system is complicated. It's the blood, it's this and that and the other thing, lymph system, liver, blood needs iron, and da 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 da. But the two most important vitamins are A and C. And we talked about C in general before, about how it's water soluble, and you take too much, it'll give you diarrhea. It'll flush out the excess. You cannot take too much vitamin C. Now, the chewable form, if you eat too much of the chewable, it's bad for the enamel of your teeth. But the vitamin itself, you can't take too much of it. Now, vitamin A, on the other hand, you can take too much of it. In fact, if you take it in certain forms, it can actually be toxic. Well, we've got an expert here to explain why. We've got Oleg the Omnivore. Say hi, Oleg the Omnivore. And he's going to demonstrate how it's possible to overdose on vitamin A. What? What did you say? He'll be okay. But the thing about vitamin A is that it's fat soluble and not water soluble. Vitamin A was the first fat soluble vitamin to be discovered, and it's easily found in your diet. A lot of fruits and vegetables have it. You know about vitamin C being in citrus fruits. It's also in stuff like cantaloupe. All over the place, vitamin C. Now, vitamin A is very important to the immune system. The tissue, the most important tissue that fights germs, is the lining of your mucosal stuff, and like inside the lungs. And vitamin A builds that. Vitamin A does a lot of things. Oh, builds proteins. Guess what? Antibodies are made out of? Proteins. Are complicated proteins that your body manufactures itself. When you get sick, that you're lying there, you're waiting for your immune system to kick in and make those antibodies. Vitamin A makes, you need vitamin A for that. So whether you're trying to prevent, ward off, or survive any virus, including the current one, coronavirus 19, COVID-19, both vitamin A and vitamin C are important. Like I said, you can't take too much vitamin C. You'll just get diarrhea and flush it out. As soon as you get, the red, like, why am I doing this? I've done it. When I lived in the anarchist commune, there was this fad of taking the powdered vitamin C, just dumping it in your juice and drinking it down. And we all got diarrhea, and we traced it back to, what do you know? It's too much vitamin C. So keep it reasonable. Now, vitamin A, they've got known levels of it, and you can find it in a lot of different foods. There are two main sources of it. There's the vegetable source, and then the animal source. You find it in meats and dairy products and eggs. And here's how they go. From the bottom to the top, here's yogurt. Remember that yogurt we made a month ago? There's the last of it. Yogurt, 1 cup of yogurt. It has 83 units of what makes vitamin A in the animal source. The animal source is retinol, so it's got 83 of that in yogurt. Egg has a little bit more. chicken has 4,000 of that, and beef liver has 9,000 of that. Much, much more. The liver has much, much more. So keep that in mind for a moment. Now, it's fat soluble. Now, the retinol goes to the liver, makes vitamin A, and then stores what it's not making, what it didn't use. Now, the vegetable and fruit source of vitamin A is called beta carotene. You may have heard of that. It's in carrots. Anything that's yellow and orangey, that's beta carotene. Here's a cantaloupe. See the yellow. Guess what that is? Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, it's beta carotene. Now, when you take beta carotene, the plant sources of vitamin A, it goes to the liver again, and the liver turns it into vitamin A. And what it doesn't need, it sends off on its own. It's an antioxidant. It smashes the free radicals. Yeah, take that, free radical. You come for you. Started off as oxygen. Now look at you, you two-faced. So it's stored then various sources will get stored. Like you're eating retinol, then it gets stored in your liver. It also gets stored in deep fat, deep fat blubber, like a seal or a whale. And some animals get used to eating it. For example, a polar bear eats seals all of his life and stores the excess retinol where? The same place as the seal in his liver. So he's getting really, really dense concentrations of the retinol form of vitamin A. So where's Oleg the Omnivore? So are you following this? Oleg, did you follow what I was saying there about the liver, the retinol, and the toxic levels? No, I wasn't listening at all. So imagine if you're hungry and you saw a polar bear, what would you do? Oh, Phil, help me! Oh, the humanity! What are you going to do now, Oleg? I'm going to eat him. Or just start with the liver. Okay. Oleg's eating the liver of the polar bear. So, what happens? you eat the... It worked during the rehearsal. So you eat a toxic level of vitamin A, and the first symptoms. Come on, Oleg, we're counting on you. Okay, well, fatigue. Fatigue is one of the symptoms of toxic vitamin A poisoning. Come on, Oleg. Another symptom of toxic vitamin A poisoning is you lose your hair. What do you think? What the hell, Phil? What are you doing? Oh, you're getting tired. Oh, you're getting very tired. Oh, fatigue is setting in. And finally, you die. So, if you're going to take vitamin A, it is in some pills. The recommended limit is 5,000 of these units, and you might say, okay, here's my multivitamins here. It's got 3,000 units in it. That's good. But I also want to have zinc. That's really good against colds and viruses. So here, okay, good. I've got the zinc. I went in here, and another 6,000 units, and you're already over the 5,000. So if you're taking various multivitamins, one of the things you look at is see, is it all adding up to too much vitamin A? Now, some of them it'll say in parentheses it's in the form of beta carotene, in which case it's fine. But if they don't say, assume it's retinol, and it's going to be too much. So watch out for those pills. Don't end up like Oleg the Omnivore. Don't eat the liver of a polar bear. Take it from me. Be safe, everybody.